Hi everyone, this is Christian Weatherford.
And this is Ellen Weatherford.
And you're listening to Just the Zoo of Us, an animal podcast.
Not just any animal podcast. We are, I would say, the animal review podcast.
Yeah. We rate your favorite animals every other week.
Out of 10.
In 3 categories of effectiveness, ingenuity, and aesthetics.
So Christian has been out of the game for a minute. There's been a lot going on in the Weatherford family. Christian's been very busy. I've been very busy. We're getting ready for a baby. This very well could be the last episode that we record together this year because the baby could kind of be here at any minute now. So I hope I don't go into labor during this recording.
It'll be a great reminder. Memorabilia.
I would put the episode up like that.
Oh, no.
I would just leave it. I'd let it fly.
We are not zoological experts, not even a little bit.
No.
But we do a lot of research. We're very passionate about the subjects.
We are. We're big fans.
Yeah.
Love aminals. Well, this week I am talking about an animal that was selected democratically via poll that went up on our social medias, on Twitter, as well as in our Facebook group.
2 weeks ago, though.
Yes, it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, we did back-to-back guest episodes, which we don't normally do, but we're about to a whole bunch, because once the kiddo gets here, nothing but guest episodes for the rest of the year. Y'all told us that y'all wanted to hear about the hagfish.
Perfect. And what did it went up against?
The lamprey.
Okay.
They're closely related.
Oh.
Which I'll get into in a minute.
Very good.
Yes. So another name for hagfish is slime eels.
I like it.
Mm-hmm. There's not just one type of hagfish. There's many.
Sure.
So rather than listing a specific scientific name for them, I'm just going to say they belong to the class Myxini. Myxini.
That's nice.
Does sound really nice. It sounds like a Pokemon, doesn't it?
Does. Yeah.
It has a really nice sound to
A
it.
fairy type.
Right? It sounds like Pixie, almost. It's
Oh,
very
this
sweet.
is not a very fairy type animal, if I remember.
No. Right before I get started, the information that I have gathered today, I got largely from the Aquarium of the Pacific and also from a bunch of other random studies that I will cite as they come up.
Okay.
Yep. So if you don't know what a hagfish is, it looks like an eel. Hence their nickname, slime eels. They're not eels, but they look like them.
Why is it half of everything that's called an eel is not an eel?
Because really, like, up until we started figuring out how to figure out what stuff was, we would just like be like, okay, well, it's long and it's in the water.
Eel.
It is long, it's in the water, and it looks kind of snakish, like no
Okay.
protruding limbs and stuff. Eel it is.
Okay.
I know we've talked about like 3 different things that were called eels, and only one of them so far was an actual eel. This is among the not eels. So they're long. They don't have any like limbs sticking out. They're very snake-like. No fins poking out of their body or anything like that. At the front of their face, they have these 4 pairs of little bitty tentacles.
Okay.
That just kind of stick out around their face. And their body is mostly like round, cylindrical, but then the tail flattens into this like vertically aligned paddle shape. You see this a lot with like eels and knifefish and sea snakes, like
Yeah.
when you talked about the sea crate. Very similar to that. Their adult size ranges a lot since this is a few different types we're talking about. So they're typically around 1.5 feet long for most species of hagfish. The largest hagfish ever recorded was called a Goliath hagfish. Eptatratus Goliath is the scientific name. And a specimen was documented at 4 feet 2 inches long.
It's a big one.
That is 1.27 meters.
Yeah.
Big hagfish. And after all of the things I'm about to tell you, you'll probably be very thankful that you did not come across this 4 foot long hagfish, because I would not have enjoyed that. So hagfish are bottom dwellers. You'll find them at the ocean's floor in pretty deep waters. but none of the sources that I found agreed on their depth ranges. Probably because they were all probably talking about different species of hagfish.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to say that you probably won't find them super close to the shore, but they like to chill out at the bottom. That's pretty much where you're going to find them. So the class of Mixini contains 76 known species of hagfish.
It's a lot.
That's not like that many when you think about it being an entire class. This is like a very high taxonomic ranking. Like,
It's true, but I guess when I imagine what a hagfish looks like, I have a hard time thinking of 76 different ways for that to look.
Okay, I feel that. So hagfish and their relatives, lampreys, belong to a clade called agnatha. So these are jawless fish. These are fish with no jaw at all.
How'd they bite, though?
I will talk about that. That's coming. So what's really interesting about the jawless fish is that they split apart from the rest of the vertebrate lineage before hinged jaws or paired limbs start to like show up in the picture.
Okay.
So they split off way, way, way before then. So that basically sets them apart from all of the other vertebrates. So bony fish, cartilaginous fish like sharks and stuff like that.
Yes.
And then, of course, like reptiles, mammals, birds, stuff like that. Like all of the vertebrates are separate from the jawless fish, but they're still vertebrates. So what is really tricky about them is that they were originally classified as invertebrates because they don't have backbones.
Oh.
Like you think that tracks, right? No vertebra, no vertebrate. Like
Yes.
if you're thinking of like, oh yes, a spine is what makes it a vertebrate or not, then not having one reasonably would put them outside of that category. So the original assumption was that since they lacked vertebra but had these other morphological similarities to lampreys, which do have vertebra. So hagfish had a lot of similarities with lampreys, but not those backbones. So for the longest time, people just kind of assumed they were in this sort of evolutionary transition between invertebrates and vertebrates. That like the hagfish just never got that far in developing their backbone, and the lampreys just took it a little bit further and developed the backbones, and so like it looked like that was the little gradient into developing vertebra. Turns out that's not what happened. So in more recent years, genetic studies ended up showing that actually it's more likely that they shared an ancestor that did have vertebra, and the hagfish lost them over time.
Okay.
So at some point they did have a backbone, and then we're just like, nah, we're actually good. Like we don't actually need it that bad. And they got rid of it.
I mean, it makes sense, I guess. Like, to support what exactly?
Well, I'll talk a little bit about how this kind of helps them.
Sure.
So maybe some reasons why they would have wanted to shed that backbone. But so very weird, very strange. So what's cool is that they have a skull. It's just not attached to a spine. Very interesting, very strange. So if you're really like interested in the nitty gritty of all this stuff, there's a really good paper explaining it, and it's called Evolutionary Crossroads in Developmental Biology, Cyclostomes, which is lamprey and hagfish, and that is by Sebastian M. Schimeld and Philip C.J. Donahue. That's the paper that I read to sort of piece all of this together.
All right.
So if you want more details about that, you can go read that paper. It's quite good. So that's a little bit of background on the hagfish and what it is and why it is kind of, I suppose, evolutionarily important. This brings us to our ratings.
All right.
For the hagfish. I know this is what you want to hear. If this is your first time listening to this show, we rate animals out of 3 categories, and the first one is effectiveness, and that is physical adaptations that let an animal do a really good job of the things that it's trying to do. I'm giving the hagfish a 9 out of 10.
Wow.
So hagfish are known for this one thing in particular that they can do. Do you know what it is?
I think so, yeah.
What do you think it is?
Is it mucus related?
It is mucus related,
Yes.
yeah. So they produce copious amounts of slime, like Nickelodeon levels of slime.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's a lot. So the way that they produce this slime is really cool. If you look closely on a hagfish's body, all along the sides of its body are these little pores. They're like tiny little holes that like perforate the side of the hagfish. And inside each pore is this little, very tightly coiled protein thread. It's this long string of proteins that's all coiled up really tight, kind of like a skein of yarn. Okay, so if you think of like a really tightly coiled ball of yarn. So when the hagfish is threatened or bitten or something is happening where the hagfish is like, oh no, I got to get out of here, it can release those protein thread coils, which then when they make contact with the seawater, they rupture. So imagine that you took like a knife or a box cutter and you just sliced it into a ball of yarn.
Okay.
It's going to explode and go everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So that's what happens. So these little protein strings just go haywire. Like they expand and they fly all over the place and they like bind with mucus that the hagfish has produced and expand in the water by thousands and thousands and thousands of times.
Yeah.
And then they tangle up with each other. Like the little protein threads get tangled with each other and that makes them really thick. And they get sticky. So like they can like stick to the surfaces of other things that they get caught on. It's both an unpleasant deterrent, right? Like it's gross. Like you go to take a bite out of something and oh my God, it just snotted all over me. Nasty. But what's really kind of a step further is that it can also get into the predator's gills. And it clogs their gills and they can't breathe. So it can even kill a fish. Like it can kill a predator that's trying to eat the hagfish.
And then the tables have turned.
And then guess what?
Now the hagfish has a meal.
Yes. So another thing that helps them like escape from predators is that, so when you look at a hagfish's body, it looks kind of icky because it's totally smooth. There's no scales on the body. It's just this like loose, flabby sort of bare skin almost. It's not cute.
Right.
But, you know, you look at it and it's loose and it's baggy. There's no scales. You might think that, like, well, that's weird. They have no armor, basically. Like, if a predator just tried to bite into them and just be biting into the soft skin, it would be like an easy bite. So that skin over its body, it doesn't connect to the body in very many places. So there's just a lot of slack in their skin. There's like no tension to it. Yeah. So if a predator goes to bite the hagfish, there's so much slack in the skin that the teeth can't really connect with the body of the hagfish because of how loose the skin is, and it lets the hagfish swim away. Yeah.
It's kind of like a taut rubber band versus a loose rubber band, like when you're trying to cut one, right?
Yeah, like if you tried to take a knife and cut through a rubber band that had no tension to it, you'd just be cutting air, basically. Like you wouldn't get anything done. But you stretch it out and you can slice right through it. It's no big deal. So yeah, having that like completely slack skin helps them not be punctured.
It's like that one dog, but to the extreme.
What dog?
The raisin dog.
Hairless dog? Are you thinking of the Sphinx cat?
No. It's that dog that has a whole lot of skin that's meant to make it so other dogs can't get a hold of it very well.
Like Shar-Peis.
Yeah, just like to the extreme of that.
I see what you mean now. Yeah. The skin reminds me a lot of a Sphinx cat because it is that kind of like, you know. It's wrinkly and there's not anything over it. So it kind of looks like that sort of texture.
I think I would prefer the hagfish, honestly.
You're so mean. I like Sphinx cats. I got that information from this article called Loose Skin and Slack Volume Protect Hagfish from Shark Bites. And that is by Stacy Nagai at Chapman University. And while I was reading this, like thinking about how, yes, maybe their hide is not necessarily tough to prevent punctures, but like the looseness lets them escape quicker. It made me think about how in D&D, your AC is determined not just by your armor type, but by your dexterity score.
Yeah.
So, like, if you have a high enough dex, you can still have a really good AC, even if you're wearing trash armor.
Or none.
Or none. That's essentially what they're doing. They have no armor, but they've maxed out their dexterity.
The monks of the deep sea world.
So very, very interesting that they do that.
For the mucus thing, I have memory of it might have been a Discovery Channel show or an Animal Planet thing where they're basically turning the water around them into this mucus, right? Like, I remember a thing where they put one of these things in a bucket of water and it pretty much turned the whole bucket of water into a bucket of mucus.
Oh, yeah. So, like, that's what I meant by, like, the protein threads, like, react with the seawater and binds it to it. Mm-hmm. So, like, it just kind of thickens up in the water around you. But, yeah, they can produce ridiculous amounts of slime. It's kind of the thing they're known for. Yeah, they're very good at it. One thing about hagfish, maybe the reason that I took off a point, they have very, very, very simple eyes. The types of eyes that can really only detect like the presence or the absence of light.
Okay.
Can't form images. They can't really see stuff too well. Of course, I will also say that yes, living at the bottom of the ocean, they probably don't need to see that good anyway. Like, it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, and especially the kind of things they're looking for, so...
Yeah, so they have really well-developed senses of smell and touch. That's what they use those little tentacles at the front of their face for. Yeah. They're picking up chemical signals and they're picking up vibrations around them, and they're just really good at, navigating in the dark and getting to all the stuff that they eat. I'm going to give a quick little content warning that the next part's a little bit yucky. I mean, I guess I should have said that at the top of the episode because we're talking about hagfish. But this particular part is gross because I'm going to talk about their feeding habits and their mouths. And it's really nasty. So if you don't want to hear about it, maybe just skip ahead a couple minutes. Okay, so living at the bottom of the ocean, they do hunt things. They hunt live things sometimes. Sometimes they'll hunt like fish and invertebrates and worms and stuff like that. But they're largely scavengers. Mm-hmm. So they eat dead things at the bottom of... So like an animal dies and it falls to the ocean floor. Here come the hagfish, like in droves.
Yeah.
Tons of them will come out and wiggle their way over to this carcass that has fallen on the ocean floor. So they do this by... They eat the carcass in a really nasty way. This is where it gets really gross. I'm sorry. They use their mouth to burrow, which is what they're very good at. They burrow inside of the carcass and they start there. They start on the inside parts, which are soft and squishy. I also saw somewhere that they favor the liver, that the liver is like their go-to. They start there. But yeah, so they start inside and they eat their way out of the carcass. Yep. Particularly gross. So I mentioned earlier that hagfish don't have vertebra and they don't have jaws, but they do have a skull. Mm-hmm. And what they also do have are these two dental plates. They're inside of their mouth. So when you're just looking at them when they're not actively feeding, you're not going to see their inner mouth bits. But when they're feeding, it's so bad. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. These dental plates erupt from out of their mouth. And the dental plates are not the way that our jaws are. I would describe them as being folded in half hot dog style rather than hamburger style like ours.
Okay.
So these two dental plates are lined with 2 rows each of sharp teeth. Now, the teeth are made of keratin, which is the same material that our hair and nails and stuff like that are made out of. Yes. They're not made of bone. They're made of keratin. Still nice and sharp, though. And so when the hagfish is feeding, the plates emerge from the mouth and expose the teeth. And then it uses a sort of rasping motion to tear apart the meat.
Like a saw.
Sort of, yeah. It's just like kind of scraping almost.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really gross. It's really horrible. It's just so nasty. But I mean, I gotta give him props. This seems to be working out pretty good for him. But also, like, while they're, eating these carcasses and stuff, like, say a predator comes along, they just can, like, burrow inside.
Yeah, I mean, what else is gonna bother you in there?
So yeah, they're pretty good scavengers, and they're like predators too. You know, they'll actively hunt other things sometimes too. But the scavenging thing is really kind of their signature move. It's really gross.
So we see these a lot in videos of whale falls, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're kind of the cleanup crew. Like they'll come along with like isopods and stuff like that, and just kind of make quick work of whatever has fallen to the bottom.
Cool.
Or even if something is just like sick and almost dead. Sometimes they'll kind of go for it. They'll just be like, you seem like you're on your way out.
I'm just gonna squeeze right. Yep.
If I could just real quick, excuse me. Thank you. This brings me to ingenuity for the hagfish, because I'm done talking about everything.
Okay.
If this is your first time listening to our show, ingenuity for us is behavioral adaptations that let the animal maybe solve problems or compete with either each other or with other animals, like just behaviors that it's doing with its body to do a good job of its things. So for ingenuity, I'm giving the hagfish a 7 out of 10.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's like decent. I found some stuff that I was pretty impressed by.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So knowing that they don't have backbones, this explains something really, really interesting that hagfish can do. So since they are so flexible, they're in the no bone zone. They are so incredibly flexible that what they can do is they can tie their body into a knot.
Yeah.
And then they can like slip out of the knot very easily. And they can do this at will, like knot themselves up and then untie it.
Yeah.
There are a couple of different ways that it uses this behavior to help them in different ways. So first of all, when the hagfish does expel all of that grody slime, the slime sticks to the hagfish too. Like they're also now covered in slime.
Right.
Gross. You don't want to do that. They do still have gills, right? Like they still have to get that slime off of their body. So the hagfish will tie its body into a knot and then like drag its body through its knot. Like through the knot.
Yep.
And what that does is it scrapes the slime off of its skin. That's very clever of them, I think. They're like using their own body to like wipe themselves off.
They do that when something grabs them too, don't they?
Yeah. So it can help them like escape, or it can also like say they're in a burrow or they're inside of a carcass or something like that and something is trying to get them out. They can tie into a knot to kind of like stop themselves. This is something else that I thought was really, really cool is that they can use this knot to give themselves leverage to generate more force to rip meat off of a carcass.
Oh.
Like if they're trying to like pull a carcass apart or something and they need a little bit more like torque,
Sure.
they can like tie themselves into a knot and then pull the knot through their body. And it helps them generate more force than if they were just like pulling backwards. I thought that was really cool. They're like using physics. The hagfish knows physics better than I do. The only other thing I gave them for ingenuity is that when they're not feeding or hunting, they do hide. They like to burrow into sand or at the bottom, or like they squeeze between rocks or something. Like to kind of lay low, which they're obviously really good at because they have no bones and they can get into anywhere.
All right.
Yeah, I read that they can get into a space that is less than half of the width of their body. This brings us to aesthetics.
Let's hear it.
Let's talk aesthetics about the hagfish. It's a whole situation. I gave them a 3.
That's generous.
Yeah. I will say that at first glance, if they're in their just resting state with their mouths fully inside of their head, they're not that bad.
Okay.
So it's really like it's the Cthulhu tentacles that get me when they're just like normal, chilling out. That's kind of nasty, like just the tentacles out of the face. It's not great for me personally. And then like the floppy skin also kind of drags the score down a little bit because it's just like, it doesn't look great. They just look kind of, I don't know, just the bagginess of this, bagginess and the looseness and the paleness of the skin does not do it for me personally. But then, so other than that, it mostly looks pretty benign. Until it sticks its little mouth. Yeah, until it sticks its teeth out of its mouth. That's when all hell breaks loose. That's when it's like, okay, no, thank you. It loses, I think, all sort of credit I was willing to grant it in the aesthetics department at that point. That's a no from me, dog. So to wrap up the hagfish, I wanted to point out that a 2011 study in the journal Aquatic Conservation, Marine and Freshwater Ecosystems suggested that by IUCN criteria, 9 of the 76 known species of hagfish are within threatened categories.
All right.
So factors that are thought to be contributing to their population declines are things like the degradation of marine habitats by human pollution and like industrial activity and things like that. We're doing a lot of bad things to the ocean, so that's affecting hagfish. They're also being caught as bycatch in commercial fishing pretty frequently, so that isn't great for them either. They're also hunted for their skin.
Really?
Yeah, and it's not what I expected. Their skin is used to make a textile called eel leather.
This again.
We haven't talked about eel leather
just
before.
The eel thing.
Yeah. They're not eels, but I don't know. I've never experienced eel leather.
Is it used for clothing or?
It's used for a lot of things. So the idea is that since the eel's skin is not going to be the sort of thing you're going to have a large sheet of.
Yeah.
It's stitched together out of multiple like strands, basically.
Right.
The idea is that it is very easy for you to make like a garment or something like that out of it without the seams showing because it's already stitched together anyway. So like the seams won't be as obvious because it's all stitched together in strands.
Okay. Weird that that's a high concern when using this material, but that's okay.
I really didn't look too far into like whether this is some sort of haute couture nonsense. I just said haute couture. My French teacher is going to shoot me. Couture. Yeah, it's a weird one. I don't really have a lot to say about that. I've never felt eel leather. I don't know what it feels like. I know that hagfish are used to make it, so that's all the information I have about that.
Okay.
So being scavengers, they do play a really important role in the ocean's ecosystem as decomposers, which we've talked about a few times. Basically, the cleanup crew for the seafloor. So they keep things tidy. And also when they're burrowing into the sand or just, when they're feeding off of something at the seafloor, they're kicking up a lot of sediment and it helps kind of cycle the sand and kick things up and keep things moving. And it just does a lot of good things for the ocean floor's environment. And the last thing I wanted to mention is that the third Wednesday of each October, which means that as of this going up, will be 1 week from today, is Hagfish Day.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
There's a Hagfish Day, and it's the third Wednesday of each October. So I figured this works pretty well for this episode going up now, because that gives you plenty of time to prepare all of your hagfish festivities. Maybe you're going to get a slime bucket together, and maybe...
Yeah, make a model hagfish that definitely won't be mistaken for anything else.
I will tell you that you could probably make a model hagfish just by getting some pantyhose and cutting one of the legs off and then maybe putting a balled up sock down in the bottom of one of them, and then there you go, you've got a hagfish.
Okay.
Don't put anything inside of it so it's all loose and baggy and gross. That's the hagfish.
Thanks, honey.
Thank you for listening. Well, darling, you're up.
Yeah, it was my turn to pick an animal. And the animal I've chosen for this week is the secretary bird.
I'm so excited. This is such a wonderful bird.
It's fantastic. Scientific name, Sagittarius serpentarius.
What?
Yes.
I'm sorry, can you say that fluidly for me, please?
Sagittarius serpentarius.
I love that. That is probably the coolest scientific name that we've had on the show yet.
Yeah. And I'll talk a little bit more about where it comes from. But first, the species was submitted by the Jungle Gym Queen.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll be getting my information from Animal Diversity Web, found at animaldiversity.org, as well as nationalgeographic.com. So let's talk about what this bird looks like for a bit.
There's so much to say about it.
Yes. They look like a large raptor with very long legs. Their body feathers are white and gray with black accents. They have long, rigid tail feathers, and they have feathers that go down their legs to their knees, and it makes it look like they're wearing shorts.
Mm-hmm. They sure do.
Yes. They have pointy, hooked beaks, which is common for birds of prey. Their face is red and orange, or it ranges from red to orange. They have black feathers that jet off the back of their heads.
like an explosion. Right. It's like they got a great blowout like just yesterday.
It's very stylish.
It's so good.
So that's what they look like. I do recommend folks doing a quick Google of what they look like, though. My words do not do them justice, I think.
It's so much more powerful.
Yep. So we'll talk about their name a little bit. So the scientific name, so Sagittarius means bowman and is associated to astrology.
Oh, so like an archer.
Right.
Okay. A man with a bow. That's what you
Yes.
mean by a bowman.
Yes.
Okay.
And Serpentarius is interest in snakes.
Oh, okay. I think I know where we're going with this.
Another way to interpret that is the archer of snakes.
Archer of snakes.
Yes.
That's so cool.
Though I want to clarify, not an archer that instead of arrows shoots snakes,
Well, never mind. It's less cool.
but an archer who shoots snakes with their arrows. One thought is that the feathers coming off the back of the head looks like arrows in a quiver.
Okay, I see it now.
Yeah.
I'm having so many ideas for my next D&D character.
Their common name, secretary bird, the head feathers look like quills that old-timey secretaries put behind their ears, as well as like an overcoat kind of look with the coloration of their feathers.
I guess that is a very dated aesthetic because I have nothing in my brain for this.
Yeah, this name I think comes from Dutch colonists.
Okay.
Yes, to give you an idea of time frame.
Okay.
And these animals are from Africa, by the way.
All right. I know what the bird looks like.
Yes.
But I feel like the human aesthetic that you're describing is one that I have no frame of reference for.
Yeah, I just said old timey. That's all I got.
I'm 25 years old. I don't know what.
You could be 250 years old. And this would still be dated.
Sorry, I don't know what Dutch secretaries looked like in the 1700s. Sorry.
Talk about how big they are. Just out of curiosity, what would you think? Like, how big do you think they are?
4 feet tall.
Very good, actually. So they stand around 0.9 to 1.2 meters tall, or 3 to 4 feet tall.
Nice. Oof, yes. That's what I like to hear.
And they weigh 2.3 to 4.27 kilograms, or about 5 to 9 pounds.
That's so light for them being so big.
Yep.
I know I say this every time we talk about bird sizes.
Especially flighted birds.
This is a flighted bird.
Yes.
Oh, okay. With those long legs, I wouldn't have thought that they would fly.
It's a bit interesting, actually.
I don't know why I would say that. I know I live in Florida. We have so many long flying birds, and I was just like, oh, nope, it's long.
Not as many flamingos as you might think, though.
No. Down south, they have them, but not up here.
More specifically for their location, they're found throughout Africa south of the Sahara, except the extreme deserts of the Namib coast and the forested region around the equator in Western Africa. They like semi-deserts and lightly wooded areas. In grasslands, they like to be where the grass doesn't obstruct their view. Not too tall of vegetation.
Okay. All right. Jeez. That's absurdly specific.
They don't want to be upstaged.
They just want everybody to see their nails that they just got done.
They belong to the taxonomic family Sagittariidae, which it is the sole species of.
The spotlight.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I want to talk about what they're kind of related to evolutionarily. So if you go one step higher than family, their order they belong to is the Accipitriformes, which contains most of the diurnal birds of prey. So this includes hawks and eagles, but not falcons. And actually, the osprey is a member of this order.
Swoop.
Yes, swoop indeed.
I can see that in the face.
Yeah, with the beak shape, right?
Yeah. I see it now.
Yep, good for tearing up meat. So, kind of digging right into our categories, starting with effectiveness, giving it an 8 out of 10.
It's pretty good.
So, first and foremost, strong, accurate kicks.
Yeah,
So
buddy.
that's what these legs are for. They're used to kick.
You kick real good.
Yes, to do, I would say, a D8 of bludgeoning damage.
There's got to be some piercing in there too, right?
It's all bludgeoning.
Oh, gosh. Just
Yep.
what are they using this kick for?
To attack things.
Yeah, I know. But like, are they attacking like their prey, or is this like to protect themselves?
Mostly prey, and these are prey that they would be smart to first disable before eating.
Ah. I think this is where their interest in snakes comes in.
Yes. So this is something they're kind of famed for. When they meet a snake, they will go for their head, like just behind the head.
It's a great idea.
To either kill them or stun them.
That's a great idea.
Yes.
If you're a secretary bird, if you're a human, do not do this.
Yeah, don't do that.
If you are a secretary bird and you're listening to this podcast, you are in the clear. You are fine.
You can actually find some videos of them doing this. All the ones I found, though, were of like rubber fake snakes that are like on a string that someone is teasing them with.
What? That's so mean.
So they'll still go for it. The kick, I kick.
Those instincts are no joke, man.
Yeah. They prefer to walk, but can fly. And they can fly just like any other big bird, basically.
Well, the thing is, you can't really like fly with like swagger, so
yeah, you can't like flaunt it while you're flying.
Exactly. You can't. They don't call it cat fly.
They are one of only 2 birds of prey that hunt on the ground. The other is the caracara. Here are the kind of prey they go after. Mostly arthropods. So grasshoppers, beetles, and spiders, and small mammals like mice, rats, hedgehogs.
Hedgehogs?
Yep.
But they're pointy.
Yeah. Not on the under part, though.
That's a soccer ball you do not want to kick, though.
So you'll actually, if you can find videos of them eating small mammals and such. If they're small enough, they're just going to swallow them whole.
Go for it.
It's a lot like how you see gulls and that kind of thing. We'll just like...
Can I get that noise one more time?
No. You only get one. So, like, kind of like we talked about, they are well known for killing and eating snakes, but it's not actually very often that they do that.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's just so cool when they do.
Yeah. The snakes they do eat, however, are often adders, cobras, and other venomous species.
That's very impressive.
Yes.
That's impressive enough that, like, I'll give them credit where credit is due.
Yep. Yep. So that wraps up effectiveness for me.
That's pretty good.
Continuing on to ingenuity, I'm giving a 7 out of 10.
Okay. Okay.
My first category is good, parents.
All right.
So they will build large nests on the top of acacia trees and other trees like that. So acacia trees, by the way, are probably the tree you are imagining when you think of like a grass plain in Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
The big sprawly sort of, very broad.
Yeah, usually standing alone, like not having a lot of other trees near it.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
But the limbs like really splay out.
Yeah, they're very thorny. Like the branches are very thorny.
Okay.
Yep.
The mental picture has been painted.
So they'll build these big nests, and they're big enough so that 2 of the adult birds can be in there with their chicks at any given time. So they're pretty big. They lay 2 to 3 eggs. Both parents will take turns incubating, but it's mostly done by the female.
Okay. There was an attempt.
So here's where where I question their parenting. And we've actually seen this before in a different large bird.
Oh.
When there are 3 young, the smallest one usually dies from starvation.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay. This brings me back to the shoe bill.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I think it's not necessarily because the parents refuse to feed them. It's just the 2 larger chicks, they just can't compete against them.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's the runt, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just not gonna... But the parent isn't helping either.
Right. It's like, here, just figure it out. Bye.
You guys sort this out amongst yourselves.
You're mature enough for this. But the rest of it's pretty interesting. So they provide a very impressive amount of parental care going forward, especially for birds. Their parental care is constant. For the first 6 weeks, the young are fed regurgitated food, not unlike many other birds. So the parents will go out and hunt something and then regurgitate that for the chicks. Then they start bringing larger prey for the young to eat directly. The parents will teach them to hunt after they fledge and leave the nest. And will even temporarily share their territory after they're independent.
Really?
But eventually they will chase them off.
Okay, it's it's a slow burn. They're
Yeah.
like giving them lots of time.
Yeah. And they roost in these trees, by the way, at night.
Do they all sleep together in a big cuddle puddle?
I don't know about cuddle puddle. My other ingenuity thing is their feathers, actually, how they use them. They use them as distractors.
What?
We talked about this with, I think, the pigeon.
Distractors?
So imagine this big long-legged bird is trying to kick a big snake. Mm-hmm. One of the things it's doing is splaying out its wings and also bobbing its head.
Oh, okay. I know. I
Yes.
remember what you're talking about now.
Yes.
How the pigeon will like
Splay out its tail feathers, I think, is what it was.
It wasn't like doing anything with the
Yeah.
tail feathers, but that like the fact that the tail feathers were brightly contrasting were like a distraction.
So all these feathers and such are meant to be distractors to something like a snake that will try to strike.
Sure.
So that if it is close enough to strike, it just gets like a mouthful of feathers.
And this is like this is a real skinny bird too.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine it's probably pretty hard to pinpoint exactly which part of it is bird and which part of it is just fluffy feathers.
So it's very interesting to see. Again, I recommend looking at a video of them kicking a snake or a fake snake like I saw.
I feel like it's kind of goofy looking.
It's effective, I guess. So moving on to aesthetics. I think we had different animals at the extremes of this category.
Yeah. We had to even it out.
I'm going to give a full 10 out of 10 on aesthetics.
They're beautiful. They're amazing.
Yep. Strong, fierce, beautiful. Legs for days.
Tell me about the eyes.
They have gorgeous eyelashes.
Oh, they're so good. They're long and they're full and luscious.
And they're actually just adapted feathers, actually.
What?
Yep.
They have feathers growing out of their eyelids.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of a little bit gross, but
they look like our eyelashes, I think.
they do. Oh my gosh. And they're so good. And they're so like curly.
Yeah. So this is a good time to mention what made me think of this animal. In the Netflix animated TV show Agretsuko, one of the main characters, I would say, is a secretary bird, and she is actually a secretary to a company CEO.
Yeah. She's a very high up businesswoman.
Yes. Boss
Lady.
woman.
Boss babe
There we are.
is what she
You can
is.
still get that alliteration.
Yeah. She's a very powerful character. She's
Yes.
very good and very great. And she's best friends with a gorilla. Yeah, we binge.
We recently watched the latest season.
I think that last time we mentioned Agretsuko, I had not watched any of it yet. When I mentioned it when I was talking about the fennec fox.
Oh,
And Agretsuko's friend is a fennec fox.
Yeah.
And so I mentioned it then, but I had not watched the show yet. And now I've watched the whole thing.
it's good.
Yeah, it's really cute. Season 3 has me kind of, but
Yeah. But anyway, some last final thoughts. Their conservation status is vulnerable, population decreasing
No.
with the IUCN.
you do not love to hear it.
I know. And this is mostly due to, of course, human activities and habitat encroachment. Because they are often found near agricultural sites
Okay.
because the things they hunt are attracted to agricultural products,
That tracks, yeah.
as well as other prey. So, for example, snakes are attracted to the same rodents and such.
Sure.
So it's a 2-for-1 deal for the secretary bird.
Yeah, they're like, ooh,
Yeah.
y'all got spiders over here?
Yeah.
Y'all got things that snakes eat over here?
So that's one of the positive things that they provide, I guess, for humans, is that they'll eat a lot of things that are considered vermin.
Pest control, baby. Keep them around. Mm-hmm. Be nice to them. It's a beautiful bird. They're so good.
Yeah.
But they look so like regal, and they have such a gorgeous, like graceful, elegant look to them. And then they just kick their feet right out in front of them. It looks so silly.
It's strong.
I know, it's very strong. It also looks very hilarious.
I love them.
Yeah, they're great. Good bird.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I did not make it.
What do you mean you didn't make it?
Make the bird.
Well, I did. Well, fine. I take it back then. I was gonna compliment your bird, but I guess you didn't want the compliment, so I take it back.
Doesn't need me to defend it.
I'm pretty sure that every time you have ever complimented my animal, I've always just been like, yes, thank you. Yes, that was all me. 100%. That's all for this week. Possibly for the rest of the weeks in 2020. If we can squeeze one more episode in before we are newborning, then we will.
With the baby.
With the baby. You can tell which Netflix shows we've been binging recently. We're just going to have to keep y'all posted on our activities for this year. Please do not worry. I have pre-recorded guest episodes enough to get us through the end of the year still putting out new content. So you don't have anything to worry about there. We've got you covered.
Ellen's got you covered. I didn't do anything.
Yeah, this could be the last time you hear Christian's voice for 2020.
Maybe forever. Who knows?
What? No.
We haven't gotten to the end of 2020 yet.
You're under contract. It's called marriage. So yeah, I may be having a baby before the next episode goes out. We'll just have to keep you posted on that. Sorry in advance if this is the last time you hear from Christian this year. But stay tuned because the guest episodes I have recorded for y'all are so good. They're always good, and I'm really excited for y'all to hear the new ones because they're really, really great. So if you want to come hang out with us and like keep tabs on what we're up to and just kind of be our buddies, we're on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can just search the title of the show and that'll get you there. If you have an animal species that you want to hear us talk about, you can submit those to us either on social media, or I am going to begin giving the caveat that if you send it to my email, I am so much more likely to I am so much more likely to see it and follow through with it, because just social media is very messy sometimes. And I would prefer that you send it to us via email at this point because of how much social media can be. But send it to me on email, and that email address is ellen@justthezooofus.com. And lastly, I would like to thank Louis Zong, who has been so kind as to allow us to use his track Adventuring off of his album B-Sides that we've been using for a long time, and we love it, and we're very thankful for it.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. And we're also very thankful for y'all who have been listening. If you're just now joining us and you're sad because now there's you might not be hearing a lot from us through the end of the year, then we have a massive backlog. There are many hours of content for you to work back through, so feel free to check those out as well. You do not have to go in order, I promise. Skip around, listen to an animal that you're interested in, do whatever you want. I'm not your mom. I can't tell you what order to listen to the show in. Just thanks for sticking around, and thanks for being here.
Thanks, y'all.
And we'll talk to y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.